Hi, tonight I'm going to show you how to make apple rose puff pastries, so keep watching. To make our apple puff pastry, here are the things we need. Some cinnamon, some apricot preserves, some puff pastry sheets. You'll find these in the freezer section of your grocery store. This particular box has 2 sheets in them because that's what the recipe calls for. When you buy puff pastry, make sure it specifies sheets, because the puff pastry also comes in different shapes, like cup shapes and things like that. These apples right here are Rome apples. I wasn't sure what kind of apple to use, but I wanted it to be red, so I just bumped into this lady at the grocery store who she looked like she knew what she was doing, so I asked her, and she suggested Rome apples, so I trusted her. You need a lemon, or however many lemons you need to get 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Or I guess you could just get some lemon juice, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use an actual lemon. The powdered sugar is really just for sprinkling on the pastries after they're done baking. It's optional. You don't have to use powdered sugar if you don't want to. Here's some all-purpose flour, and the only thing really that all-purpose flour is for this particular recipe is just for dusting our work surface and dusting the puff pastry. You want to get a bowl and fill it halfway full of water, and then you want to put a tablespoon of lemon juice in the water. This is my one good knife. There we go. And I'll just squeeze that in there. It's okay if seeds get in. It's okay if it's more than a tablespoon too, that's fine. I have to stop because that's my dog Jack drinking water. Now he's gonna burp. Okay, he faked me out. No, there he goes. Oh, you couldn't hear it. Okay. I'm squeezing the other half of the lemon now into the water. Alright. And then you just set the lemony water aside for now. We'll use it later. Now you take each apple and cut it in half. Oh, cool, look at that. It's blushing. Now you core the apples. After you core the apples, now you've got to slice them into really thin slices, starting from the end. This way you cut them so that they go like that. apple slices into the bowl of lemon water. Just like that. This one's too thick to cut, so I'm just going to throw this part away. No, you know what? I'm going to eat this part. And you add some more apple slices to the lemon water. Here are the rest of my apples, sliced up and submerged, mostly submerged in the lemon water. Let me try and get them all under there. There we go. And now the next step is to microwave these apples for 5 minutes until they're slightly tender. While you're waiting for the apples to microwave, now is a good time to mix your apricot preserves with your water. You're going to want 4 tablespoons of water. I've already pre-measured it in this cup. And you want 6 tablespoons of apricot preserves. That's 1, 2, 3, 'That's like 4 1/4, 4.5, but we'll just call it 4. 5, 6. Now you add the 4 tablespoons of water. And then you mix it all together. Let's squish all those apricot-y lumps. Here are our apples. They've been microwaved for 5 minutes, and when they come out of the microwave, you drain the apples into a colander. Here are our drained apples, and we'll just set these aside for now. It's important to let your puff pastry thaw out, or at least until it's soft enough that you can unroll it. First, you want to put some flour on your work surface. Make sure your work surface is clean, of course. Spread it around so every place has a light dusting. About like that, that's good. you want to cut the pastry dough into 6 equal strips. I'm just kind of guessing. It's probably not an exact measurement. I'm actually going to roll each strip out a little bit thinner because this is still a little bit too thick for how I want the pastries to turn out. Alright, there we go. Let's get this flour out of the way. Now you put your apricot preserve mix on each strip of dough. And then you take your apple slices and you lay them on top of the dough like this. It's very important you make sure the peel side is up. Now you fold the rest of the dough over the apples. Make sure all the edges of the apples are tucked in. make this one a little bit whiter. I'm going to make these apple slices a little bit farther apart than last time. Just like that. You do the same thing with the rest of the pastries and the rest of the pastry dough until you've filled up your muffin tin. The recipe that I gave you is good for 12 of these pastries. Alright, here is our prepared tray of pastries ready to go into the oven. I can explain what happened here. As you can see, the first few started out beautifully, and then around somewhere in the neighborhood of this area, I got tired, and I started rolling the dough too thin and doing crazy stuff. And anyway, so these turned out kind of nutty looking, and then this one, I actually kind of like, I was about to put it into the muffin tin, and the apricot preserves and the apple slices started slipping out, and I kind of like had to grab it real fast and then throw it into the muffin tin. So that's what happened here. I tried to make up for it with this one, and this one was because my dog Jack, who was sleeping right next to me, he thought he heard someone knocking at the door, but it was the neighbor's door, and he jumped up and barked really loudly, and I kind of let out a squeal, and I kind of like threw I kind of like tossed the apple puff pastry I was holding a little bit and let it go, and I just kind of like scooped it together off the counter and the best I could and put it in there. So you now need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. Then once your oven is preheated, put in your pastry tray and bake for 40 to 45 minutes. Alright, here you go. They're out of the oven. Oh, I forgot to tell you all, before you put these in the oven to bake, sprinkle some cinnamon on top. So I already did that here. Alright, let's try one. We'll try one of the more attractive looking ones. Oh wait, before we do that, I'm going to sprinkle some powdered sugar on top of all of them. And there we have it, one apple rose puff pastry. Well, they're not bad, but the parts of the apple that were sticking up got kind of leathery. So they're a little tough to chew, but the pastry part's really good, and the apricot preserves in the pastry are pretty good. So, I mean, not something I'm probably ever going to make again, but it's not terrible either. Good night, everybody.